Hello and good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to today's market outlook. Edmund here. So today is Thursday, 30th of July 2020, and we are more than halfway through the trading week. And let us have a quick look and see what happened to the markets yesterday, and then we will have a look and see what we can be expecting for today's market. So for yesterday, the US dollar was actually trying to consolidate for the last 1.5 days. However, as you can see, the consolidation or the support wasn't really strong, and yesterday it actually continued to touch recent lows of 93.10. Okay, so the US dollar continues to be bearish, and we do see the UK pound continue to be marginally bullish. Okay, so gold prices was also on a consolidation phase. However, it still managed to move back up to touch a high of 1,980, forming a double top. And for the moment, it is slightly on a retracement drive. Okay, haven't really gone into a bearish move yet, but it's just in a consolidation phase. Okay, so let us have a look and see what is coming up for today. At 3 p.m. today, we will be having some minor data from Spain. This would be the Flash Consumer Price Index numbers to be announced at 3 p.m. And moving on to 3:55 p.m., we will be having the German unemployment change data. So for this German unemployment change numbers, markets are expecting the numbers to come in at 42,000 figure. So again, we will have a look and see what the numbers are actually at 3:55 p.m. And moving to 4 p.m., we will be having the German preliminary GDP numbers. This will be the quarterly GDP data, and markets are expecting the numbers to contract by -9%. Again, if the numbers are not as bad as -9, technically that should be a positive result for the euro dollar. Okay, so another data coming out will be the Eurozone unemployment rate numbers. So for the Eurozone unemployment rate numbers, markets are expecting the unemployment rate to rise to 7.7% over the course of the previous month. And moving towards the US session, we will be having the advanced quarterly GDP data coming out from the US. Okay, again, markets are expecting the quarterly GDP for the US to contract by a massive 34.5%. Okay, over the previous 3 months, due to the rise in COVID-19 cases again, which actually slowed down businesses and also to a certain extent increased unemployment numbers. Okay, so a massive -34% contraction in terms of quarterly GDP. So again, that is what the markets are expecting. So it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers are coming up tonight. Again, at 8:30 p.m., we will be having the US unemployment claims numbers. This time, tonight's numbers are expected to come in at 1.44 million US citizens filing for unemployment claims. And finally, we will be having the natural gas storage numbers coming out at 10:30 p.m. So again, the focus will be towards the US trading session, where we will expect markets to start forming chart patterns, volumes to be increasing, and certain price action to happen as early as 7 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. Okay, so a quick look again, other events or data to watch out for. Firstly, of course, the US dollar remains very much bearish after touching a 2-year low of 93.10. And for yesterday, most of the economic data numbers, such as the US wholesale inventories and also US pending home sales numbers, was pretty decent. Okay, so for yesterday, most of the economic numbers or results was positive or beating market expectations. However, as you can see, the US dollar continues to be bearish, and it will possibly take another couple of days for the US dollar to try to stabilize before having some consolidation or retracements. Okay, so the main data, of course, yesterday was also crude oil inventories coming in at negative 10.6 million barrels. That means for the last seven days, crude oil inventories has shrunk by 10.6 million barrels. So theoretically, that will be positive for crude oil prices. However, we did not see crude oil prices moving up a lot. As early as 1 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, crude oil prices just moved up from $41.03 all the way to a high of $41.63. Okay, so my summary for crude oil is that it is in a consolidation phase. I think it will be in a consolidation phase for a while before further news or events regarding COVID-19 and the recovery of economies plays a factor on the prices of crude oil. Okay, so I guess crude oil is again kind of just resting at the moment. Okay, not much major activities. So let us have a quick look and see. Yesterday night we had the FOMC statement and also press conference at 2 a.m. on Thursday morning, local Singapore and Malaysia time. The Federal Reserve maintained its key overnight interest rates at between 0 to 0.25%. And during the press conference, Federal Reserve Chairman Mr. Jerome Powell mentioned that the path forward for the economy is extremely uncertain, and also the recent spike in coronavirus cases in the US is starting to weigh on economic activities. So he also pointed out that the recovery of the economy is slowing. So this is notable ever since the economic data for the last 2 weeks or so has been mixed. Okay, so let us have a quick look at and see on the technical charts again. We saw just now that the US dollar is continuing to be bearish, but possibly it will be slowly moving into consolidation mode. For the UK pound for yesterday moved up from 900 hours plus 5 is 14, which is 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. It moved up from 1.2917 to a high of 1.2974 within 2 hours, going up 56 pips. And towards the US trading session, it was a very tight trading range, and it touched a high of 1.3012 for a total move of 94 pips from 2 p.m. all the way until 2 a.m. Okay, so currently the UK pound is gone a bit quiet. It's pretty similar to the US dollar behavior. And a quick look at euro dollar. Euro dollar was also bullish for yesterday. Okay, so the key move was here at 1500 plus 5 is 20, which is at 8 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The euro dollar moves up from 1.1719 all the way to a high of 1.1803. Okay, so the major move for the euro dollar was during the US trading session, and it moved up 84 pips. Okay, so just bear in mind that both the euro dollar and the UK pound and also the US dollar has been very aggressive, moving in one direction. For the US dollar, it was a very aggressive bearish move ever since the end of June. And of course, for the UK pound and also the euro dollar, it has been a very aggressive and consistent bullish trend. Okay, so moving on to gold prices. Gold prices, ever since touching a high of 1,981, okay, on Monday. Sorry, this one is 28. Okay, this one is on a Tuesday. Okay, on a Tuesday, gold prices actually came down, and for yesterday it was mostly consolidating, pretty quiet, trading in a very tight range of 1,962 and a low of, usually it was 1,947, a 15 US dollar range. It touched a low of 1940 momentarily before punching up from here, okay, at about 10 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, from a low of 1,941 US dollars. It touched a high and also a resistance of 1,980, and then after it came back down. Okay, so visually this has formed a double top, so the sentiment could be slightly bearish or in a retracement mode. If it does retrace back, we are looking for the prices to come to test the recent support levels of 1,949, which is about 13 to 15 US dollars on the downside. And towards the upside, we are looking for it to test to, first of all, it has to break this short-term resistance at 1,970. So the short-term upside target price is 1970, which is about $8 from the current price. And of course, the next target price or resistance will be 1980, which is about 1818 US dollars away from the current price. Okay, so about 15 to 20 US dollars to the upside, and to the downside we are having between 10 US dollars to 20 US dollars to the downside also. Okay, so pretty much similar for the UK pound. To the upside, we are looking for it to break past 1.2996, which is just about 20 pips to the upside. And to the downside, if it breaks this bullish trend line, we may look for it to come back down to these levels, okay, of 1.2915, which is 60 pips to the downside. And of course, if the momentum is very strong, if it breaks further down, we may be looking for somewhere lower towards 1.2884. Okay, so that one's another 100 pips to the downside. Okay, so yeah, so let's move on to a quick one on silver. Silver, as you can see, has gone quiet. It's in a consolidation phase, and again, just now we mentioned oil prices. It is still in a consolidation phase, and not much major moves happening on oil prices. Okay, so I guess for the rest of this week, you can still focus on currency movements, and also on gold price movements. Okay, so silver has gone a bit quiet, likewise with oil. Bitcoin, similar situation, still in a consolidation mode. Okay, so yeah, okay, so consolidation mode looks like it's trying to break down, but you need to watch out for the horizontal supports also over here. Okay, so a quick look at the S&P 500. After yesterday's Federal Reserve FOMC statement, well, it wasn't market changing. So again, interest rates were unchanged, and to a certain extent, they are trying to continue their stimulus and funding programs for the economy. So, but we do see the S&P 500 moving up all the way from a low of 3,211 points. As early as 1 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time over here, and it ended at the high of 3,263 points, so it went up about 52 points. Okay, quite a decent recovery. And again, the S&P 500 is still in a consolidation phase to the downside of 3,200 points, and to the upside we are looking at a resistance of 3,284 points. So yeah, so today's market currently is a bit quiet. I would say most of the action or activity will come towards the UK trading session and also the US trading session. So I hope you guys had a great trading week for the last 3 market days, and I hope you guys have a safe trading day today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.